The first message I got out of that was I saw this guy. He was he had two batons and he was spinning discs on top of the baton. So it's, it's one of those magic tricks. And then he's heading into this field of grain, and the stalks of grain, first they were like, knee high, and then they're like getting higher and higher, and then he's like heading towards that. And he's so preoccupied with the spinning disc that he doesn't realize that he's headed deep, like waist deep and then chest deep into, the field of wheat. And it just feels to me like you kind of need to watch where you're growing. Some things might be neglected in your life. Like, honestly, it could be like physical things. Like, the garden is overgrown. I need to, get the tools to try to keep them at bay, to cut them down, or, to like maintain your own personal household. Or I also felt like it could be just, taking care of the practical responsibilities in your life rather than daydreaming, rather than thinking about all these things like the discs that are spinning. They don't really matter. It matters where you're going and where you're headed and which direction you're headed and whether or not that is the right move for you. Okay. So those are the messages coming through from the last reading. And in terms of this reading, when I was shuffling the cards, the image that I saw was I saw a bridge, and there's a one person standing on one side and another person standing on the other side. The man is standing on the right side, my right, and he's extending his hand out to the woman on the other side. And the woman on the other side, she sees it, and then she's looking at over the bridge at the water. She's looking at the koi fish that are around. And then she's like, looking at the sky, looking at the clouds. And then she seems like she's either being very frivolous. It seems like he's telling her, let's go, or he's extending his hand. So that's usually a gesture, an offer for something. And he sees her kind of just caught up in her own world. And so he pulls back his hand and then he walks away. So that was the message that I saw this time. And what I'm feeling is we definitely have a couple here. I have here the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, both in the upright position. And there's communication and contact between the two people. So the way that I'm reading this is I almost feel like I see two people that have very different goals in life, that have very, very different visions of what they want their life to look like. One person might be, very family oriented. The other person wants to explore a little bit more. And one person is like happy where they are currently. They're established in their career. They have friends and family in their current location. And the other person is not happy where they're at, and they want, they want more. They want to branch out. They want to explore, and they're ready to move. So I feel like two people that might, at one point have come together for whatever reason. They have the same values. They care about the same things. And the Wand's energy is a very dignified energy. It indicates truth and honesty. It indicates people who are very they keep their word. When they say something, they're going to do something, they do it. And they're quite loving, quite caring, and very generous, very protective of other people. They like to... It's almost like the people that fight for the underdogs, the people that defend the weak. So the Wand's energy, it's a very dignified energy. And I definitely feel like you and the other person, you have the same values, you have the same goals, and you both have, a strong sense of morality and dignity. But I feel like one person is very settled in their career, in their life, and they're like, I'm not budging from this geographical location. I'm happy here. And then the other person's just like, I'm not really happy here. I want more. I want something else. I want a change of scenery. And so there might be discussions between you and another person regarding that. Just the fact that geographically, this might not be the best location for one of us. So let's compromise. Let's see how we can work things out. Let's see how we can compromise. But I definitely feel like one person's really unhappy. One person wants to go. Hence that man on the bridge wanting to go. And it might not even be a biological man. It could be the other person is not happy and they're ready to move. Okay, they're ready to go. And so there's a lot of contact communications about this. I'm also seeing, for those in partnered relationships and in stable relationships, there might be discussions about, wanting to have children, wanting to bring like another person into the family unit. Okay, so talks about getting pregnant, talks about, procreation, talking about having children, and possibly even talking about adoption, like overseas adoption is what I'm sensing here. So I feel like there's a relationship, and I almost feel like there might be a void in that relationship, and the two of you are just like, maybe having a baby would help. Maybe it'll give us a common purpose. Maybe it'll help ground us. And so if you're approaching the relationship from that standpoint, you want to be a little bit careful. Resolve existing issues in your relationship before you bring another person into the picture. Does that make sense? I don't feel like bringing the child into the picture is going to change anything. It comes with a lot of responsibilities. And if you don't fix your existing problems, or if there's that void in the relationship that no one's addressing, it can exacerbate by bringing another element into the picture. Okay. I feel like whoever that wants to change or that wants to leave doesn't feel like they are appreciated in their work environment. They also don't feel like they're making enough based on their skills, their level of expertise, their life experience or their work experience. They feel like they're settling for a job that is less than, and they don't feel like they're being fully utilized. So it's almost like somebody who has grand vision, and I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. The person is not overinflating or overestimating their capability. The person is very capable of doing the work, and they feel like for whatever reason they're not able to find the type of work that utilizes their full potential, or they feel like they are not being they're not developing to their full potential, and they're looking for something else, something a lot more fulfilling. And I also feel like the relationship itself can feel like that, where the relationship might not bring that 100% total completion, total love, and total, happiness. And so the other person is just like, I don't know how long I can stay in this any more. Like, I don't know how long I can stay in this because I'm not 100% happy. Okay, could you be you or the other person? But I feel like someone is a little bit discontent, and I feel like they're looking to leave. I honestly feel there were situations in your past where, and obviously Scorpios, please don't get mad at me for saying this, but I don't feel like this applies to everybody. Okay, there was somebody that was really good in your life, and honestly, this energy could be switched around. You were probably very good to somebody, very good to somebody. And I feel like it could be, it could go both ways. There was somebody that was really good in your life, and you didn't see the situation clearly at the time. And now that the person is gone, it's really hard to fix the mistakes, right? And then likewise, you were very good to somebody in the past, and you, you were really good to this person. They didn't see the situation and they didn't appreciate you when they had the chance. And I feel like, there's definitely the sense of karma coming back full circle, because you might see them now in a very, very bad state. That's what it feels like. And I feel like it takes a lot for you to cut somebody out of your life, okay? Because you, as a fixed sign, you always care about the people that you invest your time in. If you've invested 5 years in a relationship, you still care about the person. You might not love them anymore, might not, want to contact them every day, but you still occasionally wonder, like, I wonder what they're up to. I wonder how they're doing. And I feel like there was somebody you were really, really good towards, and they didn't appreciate you properly. And now, as a result of it, I feel like you're catching people in, it's like the karma returning back to the people. And it's not pretty. And you're looking at the situation and you wish you could help. You wish you could do something to alleviate the pain and the suffering, because you were really good to that person. And you also understand, that is their karmic justice, because they didn't appreciate you when you were around. And then on the flip side, there was somebody that was really good to you and you didn't appreciate them. And I don't feel like they're catching you dealing with your karma. I just feel like there's no response. There's no communication. There's just total blockage. And it's like, knocking at a brick wall. Like, is there anybody on the other side? And you get no response. So you don't even know, like, where are they? What are they up to? What are they doing? Do they think about me? Are they okay? Are they still alive? And it's that lack of answers, lack of certainty, that keeps you constantly knocking at that brick wall. That's what it feels like to me. And I feel like there's an element of many of you wanting to fix your financial situation. And there are things here in this spread that indicates to me equating your self-worth with the amount of money that you make. Okay, that sense of materialism. And if you have recently, broken up with somebody, and it doesn't even matter who broke up with whom, but I feel like you're very, very much focusing on your career, or you should be, at least. I feel like you're very focused on that. And you're also very focused on the fact that maybe if I made more money, maybe they'll come back. Maybe if I were wealthier, maybe if I had a nicer car, maybe if I had a nicer home, and maybe if I could give them, everything they wanted. And the bottom line is, when I saw that image at the beginning, he's extending his hand out to this other woman, and she's looking at the koi fish, she's looking at the clouds. And I feel like you were dealing with someone who was very self-absorbed. Very self-absorbed. They see you, they see the effort that you put into a situation, but they didn't appreciate it. Okay? So I don't know if this is still going on, but they're very, very, very self-absorbed. Okay? It's almost like, what could the Scorpio people do for me? Or what could other people do for me? And they're not considerate of other people. So you're dealing with someone who is very narcissistic. They do a lot of attention seeking. And I feel like this might be the week where you start to see the behavior, where you start to see that they're just, really caught up in themselves. And things like that, in the material things too. The koi fish usually represents prosperity, okay? Like financial prosperity. So somebody is very much caught up in that material world, and possibly, I just keep seeing the woman on the other side of the bridge, just looking at her reflection, fixing her hair and things like that. So I feel like you're dealing with someone who's quite narcissistic, and you want to be a little bit careful. If you guys have a really keen sense of intuition, and you're a very, very good judge of character. So you need to really trust your intuition, especially for those who are newly dating. And if you find somebody who is like that, stay away, okay? Doesn't matter even how beautiful, how attractive they are. I don't feel like it's worth the trouble at the end of the day. So I feel like you have come to the realization that this person is like this. And so if you're choosing to turn your back and walk away, that's fine too. It will be a little bit difficult at the beginning, but you will sail away from it. Okay, so just be done with that energy. With this spread, I do feel a third party type of interference here. What I have is the Three of Cups in the reverse, three parties, and I have the Seven of Swords in the reverse, doing something that you're not supposed to. Like sneaky behavior. And I do have a couple here. And what this denotes to me is there could be definitely third party interfering in the relationship, talking or dating, or, somebody acting like they're in a relationship, but they're acting like they're single, and they're going around dating other people, talking to other people, flirting with other people. So there's that element that you want to be a little bit careful about. There's also, I'm seeing a lot of like outside influence, wanting to, it's almost like this sense of boredom with what we have currently. So we want to see what else is around the corner. But rather than being single, we want to test the water first before we finally sever ties. And so you want to be a little bit careful about this. I also feel like some people, some couples, if you have had like issues with infidelity and you're going to see like a couples counselor or a marriage counselor, there is going to be some big breakthrough. And I feel like the breakthrough is coming in a way where one person has arrived at the, has concluded that, you know what, I think we are done with this relationship. Whereas the other person wants to fix the relationship. So the truth that is coming through, it might not be exactly the way that you're hoping for, because a lot of people go to couples counseling or marriage counseling, and they're like, let the therapist fix it for us. Let the person fix it. But the therapist might recommend, maybe you guys should separate. Maybe the relationship is done and over with, and you guys need to see other people. And then, do that for about 6 months and see how you feel. And some of you might have some breakthrough in the therapy sessions, and you're deciding that, or at least one person decides, let's call it quits. So I feel like there's something very final coming into the picture, and I feel like it has been like this for the past 3 years. It might have been like this for the past 3 months, and there isn't anything to fix. It's almost like the end of a karmic cycle. I do see one person in a relationship succumbing to temptation, and the other person might still want to work at the relationship, but there's still a lot of like resentment. I do feel the resentment coming through, where, a lot of the times when somebody cheats on us, it's not just the thought of them with another person that aggravates us, right? It's not just the thought. It's also the self-doubt, like, why wasn't I good enough? Why did they have to seek somebody else? It brings up a lot of self-doubt. It destroys your sense of self-confidence. And not only that, the aftermath of finding out too, it hurts your ability to trust other people. So infidelity is very, very damaging. And so I feel like for those who are dealing with this, I feel like it really hurts your self-esteem. And it also, I see resentfulness, resentment. And I feel like some of you might have kind of suppressed it, but you haven't really gotten over it. And if you are doing any type of, marriage counseling, couples counseling, or even individual counseling, there are things that are going to be triggered. Okay. And it's bringing up to the surface so that you can address it. So you can like shed some light on it. So you can move away from it. And I do see as well a huge element here about doing a lot for your relationship partner. You guys doing a lot for your relationship partner. And the other person was just not aware. The other person was so caught up in their lives, their problems, their issues, their own, just narcissism. And the way that it came out is this card, okay, the star in the reverse. It's somebody that could be very beautiful, very attractive, very handsome, whatever you want to call it, but they're very stuck on themselves, okay? And so I feel that you want to be a little bit careful who you're dating. You want to be careful about who you're involved with, and you want to be a little bit careful about who you give your energy to. I feel like this is even if you tell yourself, oh, I'm only going to, I'm only going to have a one night stand with that person. At the end of the day, you want to reassess your standards. You want to just tell yourself, is this somebody energetically that I want to be around? Probably not. Is this somebody that I even want to let my friends know about? Probably not. There's something about this person, I feel like they're quite attractive, but at the end of the day, maintain your standards and, be true to your standards, okay? You want people who are beautiful all the way around, inside and out. You don't want to settle for anybody who is especially narcissistic. And so even if it's just a one night stand, I don't feel that it's good for you to give your energy to this person. And so that's what I have for you here, Scorpios. I hope the reading is helpful. And I hope that you can, I hope that you can get some insight from this. I hope that it resonates to a certain extent. I hope that it resonates so that you can, decide how to move forward. Okay. And I honestly wish it wouldn't resonate because it's a little bit more on the negative end. But I feel like there's a lot of things that you are making big decisions on. And you kind of need to make this decision kind of like on your own and to try to figure out what is best for you. Okay. What does your heart say and what is best for you? So I wish you the best. Take care. Okay. And I'll talk to you guys soon.